Real talk's gonna happen on this one, guys. Why you deserve a better relationship. Hey guys, and welcome to another video. My name is Lana from millennialships.com, your place for self-care and healthy relationships. And today I'm going to be talking about a little bit more of a serious topic. It's why you deserve a better relationship. So if you are in a relationship that doesn't give you total joy and happiness, maybe not all the time, but 99% of the time, it might not be worth it. It might not be worth it. Now, I know these are tough words. This is a tough thing to say, but I'm just going to lay it out here because I don't know your situation. And I'm going to lay it all out, and you can take this information and see what you can do, see if it affects your life. And if you can take this advice to make your life better, then that's going to be great. And if it doesn't apply to you, then that's fine too. That's no problem at all. But I wanted to share a little bit about one relationship that I had that was extremely unhealthy, and I only realized it until after it was already over. That's when I realized it was unhealthy, and which is crazy. And this happens in relationships because sometimes when there's obvious abuse or emotional or mental abuse, you know that, maybe your relationship is struggling or going through some serious problems. If there's physical abuse or something like that, it can be a lot easier to pinpoint. Now, don't get me wrong, these relationships are also difficult to get out of, but you can, in your mind, you can more easily tell that maybe this is unhealthy. But the thing is, with a relationship that's also unhealthy but doesn't involve actual abuse, it can be really this gray area, because it can be one of those things where it's like, well, I mean, we're fairly happy, we do our things and we do these normal things, but something feels wrong, something feels like it's missing, and you're not always able to pinpoint why this is happening. You can blame this on other things. You can just say that you're feeling depressed, or you can just say that maybe things aren't going well for you, but you're not actually finding the real cause, which is maybe an unhealthy relationship. So I wrote a blog post about my unhealthy relationship and the details that were into that. Maybe I'll make a video of that another time. I'm not going to go into those details right now, but what I'm going to try and explain to you guys today is, if you're in an unhealthy relationship, why you deserve a better one and why you need to get out of it, even though it's going to be hard. So the first thing that I want to touch on is if you're giving too much. So relationships are a give and take. They're a give and take. So if you are doing everything you can, everything in your power to make the relationship the best it can be, but you're not getting any of that in return, that is not fair. That is a totally off-balance relationship, and relationships should be equal as wherever they can be. Wherever you lack, he should fill those gaps, and wherever he lacks, you should fill those gaps, and you're working together. So if you're giving and giving, or always being like, well, maybe we should go to therapy, maybe we should have another chat, maybe we should start going on more dates, and you're coming up with all these solutions and trying to figure out these ways to make your relationship better, and he's just not having any of it. If he's not going along with your ideas or contributing ways, then this is just a one-way street. And it's not fair. And the thing is, the reason why that you're in this situation is because you're a compassionate and giving person. So you have good qualities that are going to make you a great girlfriend, but you're wasting them on somebody that's not giving you what you need in return. And so that's just not fair. That's not fair. You deserve somebody who's going to put as much effort into you as you put into them. That's a two-way street. That's a real healthy relationship. So don't always bend over backwards for the other person. The other thing is that if you're being too hard on yourself. A lot of times if I hear my friends or some people that I know in relationships where they're struggling, they're always talking about, well, I could have done better in this, I could have done better there, I'm no saint, I do bad things too. And the truth is, okay, sure, you know, that's really good that you're taking ownership of your weaknesses and you're going to try and improve that. But one thing that's worth thinking about is whether or not yourself and the way you just are not being accepted by your partner. It's exhausting to try and change parts of you and who you are. And you'll find that if you're with somebody who fully accepts you and doesn't care about some of your little crazy quirks, that you're not really having to change those things. When I was in a really unhealthy relationship, I was constantly trying to think of ways that I could, well, you know, maybe I can express this in a different way. Maybe I can be a little bit more understanding of this or that, you know, and that's just me trying to put a square peg into a round hole. Like, that's just me trying to fit something together that doesn't fit, right? And so as much as you can say, well, I'm trying to do this different, I'm going to do this, you know, it's exhausting. And it gets really tiring to start doing that stuff because, you know, you're always trying to change and who you are is never really accepted and good enough. So not worth it. Not worth it. There's somebody out there for you that's going to accept you in every single way. And you're not going to have to be constantly trying to change yourself or change this or change that, because you, in the way you are, is going to be 100% fully accepted. That's the way you want things to be. So this one is for the moms out there. If you're a mom, it can be tough because if you're in a relationship that's not working out, I know you're thinking about your kids first and you want them to be happy and to have a home where everybody is together. But the truth is, kids see everything. They are very, very resilient. They can see things. And if they see you unhappy or if they see tension between the two of you, they're going to pick up on that stuff. And yes, they are going to feel upset if your guys' relationship divides. They will feel upset about that, but they will get over it if they know they're loved. So if you express that you love them, that their dad loves them, and that they feel loved, safe, like they have two safe families to go to or safe homes to go to, they will be okay. And your life, although you give it to your children a lot, is still your life, and they need you to be happy. They do. They need you. They need you to help them with their homework. They need you to help them with their issues and their problems. If they're getting bullied, if you have a daughter and she needs help with a boy at school, like, they need your attention. They need you to be around, and they can't have you being focused on something else when you don't need to be spending your time on that. So that's something to consider. Then another thing is if you're crying too often, this is not a good thing. You deserve better than that. We're not supposed to be crying all the time about things that shouldn't necessarily be part of our lives like that. If you're in a relationship that makes you cry a lot and you're crying about it a lot, that is not healthy. That is not healthy. You're supposed to be going to your partner when you're crying so they can help you, so that they can support you, not so that, you know, not because they're the cause of it, right? So if you are crying a lot, you cry to yourself, you cry when you're thinking about things that has to do with your relationship, no, that's not healthy. You guys, you need to think about alternative ways to live your life if this is the normal that you've started to accept. And the final point that I'm going to touch on here is that your life is yours, okay? Remember this, okay? Now, I know, especially us women, we have priorities where, you know, we want to be the perfect girlfriend or the perfect wife or the perfect mother. And so we give ourselves to a lot of other people, okay? And that is healthy. It's good to help others. But if you're not focusing on yourself first, you're going to run out of things to give. You're going to run out of pieces to give. And you do have an impact on the people around you. The people around you look up to you for inspiration, for support, for happiness. And if you're not feeling that stuff inside, if you're not able to provide that inspiration to them, then that's not going to be a service to them either. So you really got to think about yourself first. and think about what's worth it for you. And then when you do that, everything else is going to fall into place. So relationships are the key to a happy life. You guys know that I think that the relationships are a key to a happy life. And that is so closely tied to our mood and so closely tied to our mental health that if a relationship is not affecting us in a good way, it has the ability to completely destroy us, whether we see that happening or not. So please, guys, analyze your relationships. Think about whether or not this is the one thing that you really need and want. And if it's not, if you have doubt, then you should start either trying to fix it, going to counseling, making a real effort to fix things, or you should be thinking about whether or not it's worth it and whether or not there's a better person out there for you. I know it's hard to hear, but somebody has to say it, and it's gonna be me, because being in a healthy, happy relationship is the best thing in the world. It's the best feeling in the world. So if you're not feeling that, then I'm sad about that. I want you guys to feel that. So it's hard to be in a really difficult relationship sometimes, but this is something that you guys really need to think about. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please consider giving it a like or subscribing to my YouTube channel if you guys want to see more. And I will see you on the next one.